Welcome to Changelog, where we explore the latest updates, enhancements, and changes to New Relic itself. In each episode, we dig into the new features and functionalities as told by the people who envisioned, shaped, and even coded them. We discuss the inspiration and the data behind the development, as well as common use cases and applications. I'm Leonardo, one of the DevRel advocates here at New Relic. Recently, we unveiled an updated 1.newrelic.com user interface. Because this change affects not only how things look, but also how you interact with your systems and data, we hosted a webinar to go over everything and discuss not only the what, but also the why, and our goals of what we had in mind with this update. And we even included some ideas about what we plan to improve next. Here at Changelog, we recognize that not everyone was able to clear their schedule for that live cast, so we decided to share it in its unedited form. So, here's Senior Manager of Technical Enablement, Tom Doherty, and Senior Product Manager, Ferran Gomis, talking about what's new with the new Relic UI. We hope you enjoy.
This is Data for Engineers. Welcome, everybody, and this session we're going to talk about what's new with the new Relic UI. My name is Tom Doherty, and I'm joined here today with Ferran. Ferran, how you doing?
Doing great, thank you. Just coming from vacation.
Oh, nice. Hope you had a good time. Where'd you go?
I did, thank you. I went to Tuscany in Italy.
Oh, nice.
Great food every day, yeah.
Sounds nice. So, Ferran, you're going to be talking to us today about what's happening in the UI. I'm going to go through our agenda for today. That was the introduction, believe it or not. Ferran is going to give us a walk through the UI and talk about what's coming next. And what we're going to do is, instead of just throwing the questions at Ferran as he goes through his presentation, unless there's something that's immediately relevant, what we'll do is I'll hold the questions until the end, and we'll ask Ferran any questions that pop up then. And of course, if there are any questions that I can answer directly via the chat, I'll do that as well. All right, so I'm going to hand you over to Ferran right now. So I'll just give you the screen share, Ferran, when I figure out how to do that. It's been a while since I used GoToWebinar. Here we go.
Cool. So this is the old design, the design that you all know in New Relic, and this one we realized some time ago that it has a number of problems. Probably you're all familiar with them. One of the things we realized is that it has a bit of a disjoint experience because it's a very big product, very powerful, but it's very big, so it has many teams, and some of the things have been developed in different ways, and we can see that immediately in the first menu, right, where we have some items open a fixed list, some items open a search, and again a fixed list, some items don't open anything, and you're able to customize this a bit here. But you're not able to really customize the order or anything like that. There's a few items that you can show. It's also limited in the sense of the horizontal menu. It runs out of space very quickly. So then we have the more, and then it goes to a vertical menu. This is one of the things. We also realized that many users, actually most of the users, come in because of APM. And there are many other features, super nice features and very powerful that could be helpful to many users, but we realize that they're not adopting them, they're not jumping to those. And we believe part of that is because of this kind of different experience, that how things are built slightly different, and then the learning curve is a bit steep. And the last one was we had a lot of feedback saying how complex and unintuitive in some cases the UI. So we wanted to fix that. We wanted to create something that is simple to use, very intuitive, that is familiar, and by familiar we mean with the common practices in the industry, that is consistent across all the section, and that it shows truly how powerful the tool is. So we went with this new design. By the way, here's how you can toggle to try it on, in case you haven't seen the toast. And this is the new design. And at first it looks like, oh, it's only the same thing, but on the left. And it is one of the things, yes, but it has many implications. So first, by having it on the left and having it vertical, it means it scales much better and always in the same direction, because we have the vertical space. It's always the same for all the items, so we can grow much more. Then we will give all the users a default set of items, which are basically the most commonly used items. But this is fully customizable. Not only like it was before, selecting a few up to 6 elements, but it's completely customizable. I can go to all capabilities and select all the things that I want. I can go in and say, hey, no, I'm using synthetic monitoring a lot, so I can bring it all the way up to the top. And if I'm also using metrics a lot, then I can select the ones that I want to have on the top or the bottom. But I can also dismiss all the ones that I'm not using. If I say I'm not using mobile because it's not part of my infrastructure, I can just unpin it, and it's gone. That works for, well, obviously all of this here, and then we can find and bring it back from the all capabilities. All capabilities page is the place of discovery, the place where I'll find, well, I don't know what's going on with the browser. That's not related to the product, it's related to the browser. Yeah. I can, where I was, I can bring it back. I removed mobile, right? So I can bring it back here from the all capabilities and pin it again. This is one way that I have to customize it, but we want this to become a place of discovery of all the things that I can do with New Relic, which, so this is actually going to grow by a lot, hopefully soon, but we'll talk about this a bit later. So this is one way I can customize things. The more natural way, when this is the place of discovery, will be that I come in here, I see, oh, service map, this sounds interesting. I will open it, I'll see it down there, but you see there's a difference. This is not pinned yet, and I can try it. And if I decide, oh, this is interesting for me, I want to use this every day or every week, however often I use New Relic, I can decide to pin it, and that's it. And if I use it a lot, I can just bring it all the way up to the top, or wherever it makes sense for me, depending on my routine. For now, I'll just remove it. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna give a default set of items, and then each individual can customize it depending on their needs. This is a user setting. It's by user, not by organization. So you can, in one organization, have multiple users and split, and each one have their own configuration depending on what it makes more sense to them. So we've talked about discovering and sorting. Oh yeah, so the sorting, as you see, there's this box where I can move all these things. The sorting applies to all the elements except the first 4. The first 4 are key elements, and without them, then it doesn't make sense. You cannot really properly use New Relic. So that's why they are fixed, and they are here at the top. And that's the search, add data, all capabilities, and all entities. The search, you already know because it's been there now for a while. We can search, and then it searches through all the entities that you have in the product, and it's categorized. We have plans to improve this search, because right now it only searches through all the entities, but we want to make it a lot more powerful. We also get a lot of ideas from many users, and if you have some, please feel free to share with us in here. Give us feedback, and I'm going to be looking at that. Anyway, what I was saying is, yeah, we have plans to improve this search, but it's a bit down the roadmap. So it's gonna stay like this still for a while. Then add data is gonna be here all the time, ready to use whenever you want to instrument something new. So it's all the time easily accessible at one click, when you can then select the source as you were doing before, right? Yeah, but it was a bit more difficult to find before. Now it's right there at the very top. Then, like we said, we have all capabilities, as we've seen before, the place of discovery to find all the things you can do. And finally, all entities, which is, well, the same pages that we have in the old design in Relic, where you see all the potential entities, and then you can decide to filter by entity type or by name or by anything you like, as in the same ways as it works today. One of the, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that one of the interesting things of this left rail kind of configuration is that I can collapse it and I can gain a lot of real estate for my main data, the data that I really want to look at, and not the menus. And then we have a few other sections. So we have at the top right. This is still work in progress, so it's going to be still changing in the coming months. We want to reserve it for contextual functions, so functions that are related to the place where I'm in. So you'll see that this changes a bit. These actions depend on where I am. And at the top, the copy permalink, the contextual help, that will stay, and it will always be related to the context of the page where I'm in. And then at the bottom left, we will have supporting functions. So functions that are not directly related to my observability needs, but that I will need them every once in a while, like all the functionality inside help, give us feedback, the what's new is in there, resources are in there, and then the user menu with all the user preferences, manage your data, manage your plan, manage users, etc. That's going to be down there. And basically, this is it. Like I said, this is the first step of many. There are many changes coming to make it more familiar, more consistent across all the sections. And I think that's more or less what I wanted to share so far. I hope in a few weeks or months I'm going to be here again sharing the next steps of improvements.
Great, thanks a lot, Ferran. That was really insightful. And I don't want to put you in a difficult spot. Is there anything you can share with us about what's changing next, or how it's going to look, or is that top secret?
Yeah, sorry, no, it's not top secret. So yeah, things that are coming. This is more or less finished. So what's coming is a second level navigation. Some of these sections are quite simple, like I don't know, browser, and then you go into a browser, and then you get the curated view, and that's okay. But then you see here, we start seeing that this has subsections. So we want to rework a bit of this, the second level navigation and how it works, so that first it is consistent across all of them, and that it also we want to make better usage of all the real estate. As you can see here, there's a lot of white space. So this is one thing. We also want to rework a bit the header section to organize the information a bit better, more hierarchically organized, and also to see how we can recover all this real estate that we're not using. This is very challenging because right now I have a very, very big screen, but many users do not. Many users have a much smaller screen, and then things get very crowded very quickly as well. And also we want to evolve this all capabilities page to make it really a place of discovery. We don't know yet. We have many good ideas, so we don't know exactly yet how it will be the final design. But there are very good ideas there how to explore this and how to show the true potential of New Relic here. And also the search, as I mentioned, that we want to expand beyond just search through entities. We want to search through all the sections. We want to search with keywords. There's many ideas there. I have a long list of like 25, 30 items that we want to search for. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Great. Is there anything off the top of your head, Ferran, that you could where you could tell us kind of if certain things have moved? If have we like moved the cheese for anybody? I know that we're trying to make things easier for people, but somebody who comes to this, they might be looking for a certain capability, or they might be looking for a certain setting. Have we changed or moved anything that might be in a different place?
Right. Yes, we tried not to, because that's also feedback that we received, that we're moving the cheese too much. And we tried not to do that. That's also why we did the rollout in phases to listen to early feedback. So we figured that many people were using apps and also infrastructure, and they had some difficulty to find it in the beginning. So we brought it here as part of the default set to make it easy to find. Otherwise, everything is here under all capabilities. You should be able to find all the same items that we had in the old menu. They're all here.
Great.
Other than that, there's no major changes in. I mean, still, when you go into one of these sections, it's still the same section that it was before. So it should be all very familiar.
Perfect. All right. Anything else you'd like to tell us, Ferran, before we go into the Q&A?
Well, I encourage you all to try it out, and if you find something missing, like you just mentioned, or there is something that you think would work better in one way or another, I would encourage you to give us feedback, and then we'll be looking at that and probably asking you more questions in about the use case, about how to make it expandable, how to make it useful for everybody.
Perfect. So that's under the help section there. Give us feedback.
Yeah.
That's
section,
moved.
give us feedback.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ferran. Appreciate it. Okay. So let's get some questions. So Martin's got the question: will there be a possibility to add often used dashboards or other entities, APMs, to the left navigation menu? Something like favorites, like we used to have in the old UI, I guess.
That's a great question. The answer is not as a capability, because then not as a direct pin on the left rail, because then it can grow in complexity very, very fast. It's a path that we've explored, but we believe the complexity that it leads to an exponential growth. So we've discarded it. But we were looking for a place to have favorites, so that you can pin your favorite dashboards or specific entities, or so this specific use case, but as a favorite, not as a direct access in the left rail.
Perfect. So is there going to be a favorites page, or will that exist as a kind of like a layer down underneath each section?
We don't know exactly yet. That's one possibility. It also sounds very linked to the search, so maybe it will live within the search. We're still exploring those possibilities. So we know this case exists. We know the need exists, and we acknowledge that, and we want to find the right place to have it easily accessible.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, Joseph, a comment rather than questions. It's lovely to see it now being simpler and easier to find capabilities and entities. So thank you, Joseph. There's some positive feedback for you, Ferran.
Thank you.
Brighten up your Monday.
Yes.
Ben says, I think Ben is kind of touching on one of the questions I raised. He said, eventually I found admin stuff under my profile, why is admin not under all capabilities? Took me a long time to find it, and I have been using New Relic for years.
That's a great point. That's a great point. So let me take a note of this and explore with the team that handles that if we should make a specific capability for that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully that's useful to you. Ben, Martin has another question here. In the new design, all switches, old view and new view, have disappeared. Any chances to preserve the switches? Some of the old views are more useful than the new ones. Oh, you don't want to hear that.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Especially in infrastructure has a lot of them. It was a hard decision that we had to make, because with this new design, it was one old new view, and then it would kind of conflict with what we believed it was too many show old new view, and it was confusing. So we decided that while we're rolling this out, we would disable this kind of show old view new view for those sections. But we realized that the renewing all those sections is a different project, and it goes at a different pace, that we go. So at some point we will re-enable those once we can disable our own toggle, and once this becomes the default, not the default, like the general navigation for everybody. We will re-enable those show new view of each specific section.
Great, thank you for that. Another question here. Shamik is asking, on the top right, what will stay and what will be updated? Same question on the bottom left. I think you might have to share your screen again for this one, Ferran.
Yes. Come on. On the top right, right now I have this the query builder. This will go, because this will become a capability like the others, and you'll be able to pin it if it's one of the things that you use a lot. You'll be able to pin it and even bring it all the way to the top. And if you don't use it, you just remove it and forget about it. Also, because this query builder, it's not context. It's not related to the context of the pages. It's always the same, right? Independently from where I am. The contextual help will stay, and we're also talking to that team to improve it, to bring it to one side and to make it more useful, depending on the context of that specific page. The copy permalink will stay, although it will change a bit. So we want to remove the text to gain that real estate. But the copy permalink is also related to the context. So I'm sharing the link of the specific place where I'm in. And that's going to be about it. The others are the primary and secondary actions of each page that will also be there always. And then at the bottom left, on the supporting functions, we have these two. We will also see the invite a teammate or invite a new user coming soon. And that's all I know so far. I also don't want this to grow too much, because then this is fixed, and then it would take too much real estate, and it would occupy space dedicated to to the items that are useful for each individual user, and so that we want to put a limit on that, also on the top right.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Ferran. I don't see any other questions in there. It looks like you've answered all the questions. Thank you very much. I hope you've all enjoyed this and it's been useful to you. Keep an eye out on learn.newrelic.com for other courses, webinars, self-paced courses, etc. And of course, if you have any feedback on the UI, just give us some feedback through the help section. So it's in the bottom left now if you're using the new UI. Thank you very much, Ferran, for your time. Appreciate it. It's really exciting to see what's happening with the UI, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go next.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, everybody.